City didn't even have to be their vintage best in the first 45 minutes to still be dominating this game. I mean, even they, by their standards, were poor in possession, apart from the first 15 minutes. And then in the second half, once they took the game by the scruff of the neck, then there was only one team going to win. I mean, your David Silvas, your Bernardo Silvas, and Fernandinho's were just absolutely outstanding.
I think that's stretching it a little to say that the goals were mistakes from his team. How was 42 passes before an incredible ball from Bernardo Silva, smashed in with pace, a great run from Gundogan, timed to perfection, a beautiful first touch, and then sticks it away? How can you turn around and say that that's down to you? And the first one's the same. Again, fantastic ball from Sterling. Nothing you can do. It's just such a hard ball to defend. Bernardo Silva gets round the back, cuts it across. Could have been a penalty. In the end, Silva sticks it in the back of the net. How can you possibly say that those are your errors?
I think 40-odd passes leading up to a goal. I think if I was a United fan, and by the way, there was not one challenge that even looked close. I think I'd be asking some questions. We just allowing them to play like this? I mean, don't get me wrong. When John Stones stepped out and Fernandinho sits back in, or vice versa, whatever it is, their movement is great. But come on. You got to get out and put some pressure on. But do you know what the most galling thing for me, watching Man United in the first half, was when they did get possession, how poor they were in possession. You got Rashford and people trying to make runs, and you got Matic and Fellaini and Herrera in particular, who just can't pass the ball.
They never asked too many questions all game, really. You know, there is that little 5 minutes when they get the penalty and it's 2-1, you think, my goodness, after such a dominating performance, because of the situation, the derby, the whole drama, the whole thing. But Man United never posed any questions whatsoever. People keep talking about, well, they haven't started games very well. And I continually say that's the manager's job. But I think what's happening with United now is they're starting games and you must be telling them, we have to be safe. Let's not open ourselves up. Let's be cautious. And of course, when you play against good teams, the likes of City are, they're going to come at you straight away. And so it looks as though you're sleeping out the blocks, but actually you're not. You're just doing what the manager told you. Be cautious and don't make mistakes.
12 games, 12 points.
You
know, 12 games, 12 points tells a story. And we talked about it in midweek, and the United fans who can't take the blinkers off and take proper analysis, got to understand. Outplayed by Bournemouth for long periods, got away with it and did get better. Outplayed by Juventus, papered over the cracks by their stupid mistakes and their lack of quality in the final third on this occasion, because those games could have been dead and buried. And here we have a case where they've been totally outplayed by their biggest rivals, and they didn't even play well by their standards. If City had played for 90 minutes like we know they can, this wouldn't have been 3-1. It would have been 5, wouldn't have been 6-1. They're a million miles off where they need to be, and that was exposed today at the Etihad. It was covered over in Bournemouth, it was covered over in Turin, because they got the old pat in the back for the gritty, and we got back in it. They got exposed today for what they are, and it's a pretty average team at this level.
I really find it difficult to look in my crystal ball and think that Santi's going to keep this job for 2 or 3 years. I think this is short term. He will get it, but it'll be until Real Madrid find the guy they really want.
Well, surely it all depends.
But
we call that Zidane.
Yeah. I mean, he could do if
I would suggest right now he's not the guy they think is going to be.
No, but neither was Zidane until success started to roll in, and they thought, oh, the players are responding. We're quite happy with what we've got. And I mean, if he takes them back to another Champions League final, and if he takes them to the title at the end of the year, then the whole picture changes. I mean, somewhere Lopetegui's sitting in a house or wherever he's sitting. Hope he's sat on the beach counting his money, because that's the only thing that's going to keep him happy at the moment, because he made an absolute pig's ear of that Spain job at the end. And now the Real Madrid won 2 of the biggest jobs in world football, and they've gone right down the pan. So I can't help but think for him in a way, but it's a results business.
Indeed it is, and Santi's getting the results, Gab.
Yeah, he's getting the results, and you would imagine, given how quiet it's been on the new manager front, that He's going to get a deal until the end of the season. And I think from his perspective, he hasn't had a tough run of games. Celta probably the toughest. But he's got a whole bunch of mitigating factors, starting with the fact that everybody's injured at the back, from Varane to Carvajal to Marcelo Regulon, who's done really well when called upon. He had to go off at halftime. You put all those things together, and, you know, he's got a legitimate case to say, guys, give me some time. Let me see what I can do with these players. Modric, another one who you know, really hasn't performed arguably since the World Cup. So I think given the options out there, or lack thereof, I think that's what Real Madrid are going to do. Stick with him till the end of the season, and maybe take a run, if they're not happy, take a run in March at a top manager who right now is off the table.
Well, after all the games in the Premier League over the weekend, and of course the big Manchester derby late in the day, the Premier League table is starting to take shape. Yes, it is still tight at the top, but I think the guys that are up there, the teams that are up there, and particularly Manchester City and Liverpool, are the two teams that most pundits pre-season thought were going to be fighting it out. Now that looks like it's going to be the case if Liverpool can hang in there. Clearly, Chelsea and Tottenham in particular will feel they're still in this title race. It was a slightly disappointing performance from Chelsea at home to Everton, a little bit lacklustre off the back of their travels in the Europa League. Tottenham with a narrow win against Crystal Palace. And Arsenal, you know, if you're ever the hopeful and an Arsenal fan, you'll say, well, we're still in this title race, but you're not really. What you are in is a great unbeaten run. You continued that against Wolves, but it was hardly vintage. In fact, Wolves probably felt they could have taken the 3 points. So as of the big teams, it's starting to take shape. The battle, in my opinion, will be between City and Liverpool for the title at the end, and the rest will be fighting it out to get into that top four. You'll notice Man United way off the pace.
Welcome to Extra Time. Ooh, what a day of football. Lots going on. I could have sworn I heard Craig Burley say the other day that he doesn't work Sundays. Someone's going to have to answer for this scheduling mistake.
Well, somebody's been making that mistake for...
But you've been quite chirpy for the last few Sundays.
Well, no.
You haven't moaned as much.
Listen.
Is that a compliment, or is he having a go?
Got to fix it. One of the reasons, because the old Sunday show used to be very late.
Yeah, it used to be late, it used to be an hour long, and there used to be a lot more highlights.
Yes, so it was... What time did you used to leave the studio?
We used to start at 9, and then depending...
It used to be out by midnight. Yeah.
Sometimes we're at midnight.
Late, no.
So, the early one's working. Plus I can
No
get
worries, he's happy then, he's not here.
Well, plus, I can go and see my daughter playing soccer on a Saturday. So
Oh, perfect. Has she got some of the Burley skills?
Yeah, I saw her falling over the ball yesterday. Yes, I saw her tripping over the ball yesterday.
Oh, you mean she got her teeth knocked out?
She's not had her teeth knocked out yet, fortunately.
What sort of...
Her first touch is not very good and she's not very quick, so the answer is yes.
What sort of parent are you on the touchline? Are you
I just keep out of it.
Yeah, I imagine.
I don't get involved with coaches or shouting or anything. I just stay back. Just let the kids get on with it.
Oh.
As you should.
She would be embarrassed anyway if we start. Anyway, there was a...
Was it your eldest who refused to play when you went to go and watch it?
Yeah, he told our eldest, who's 23 now, and he said to me and his mum, "Don't come and watch."
Look.
Yeah, look. And so we went to watch, and he saw us, and then went and stood in the corner of the field. Never moved.
I wonder where he got that from.
I wonder where he would get that stubborn.
But anyway, there was all these games where obviously the referee. There was a little. I'm not saying old. There was a gentleman. The referee came up to me yesterday when I was picking my daughter up. He said, "Are you that guy on ESPN?" I said, "Yes." He said, "I really enjoy the show."
Why do you hate Man United?
He didn't. He said, "Why do you always slaughter the Americans?" But no, I didn't. He said, "I really enjoy the show."
Ah,
so there you go.
A lovely touching moment.
We got one fan.
With Juve winning and Inter losing today in Serie A, Gab, it's over, isn't it?
Well, no, there are other teams in Serie A other than Inter. I mean, I think Napoli, obviously they won a huge game for them on Saturday in a virtual swamp in Genoa. So no, it's not over by any stretch, but what's pretty obvious is that Juventus are deeper and more talented and more settled than any other team in Serie A. But we certainly know that. But we're certainly not going to go and crown somebody in early November.
You've had a good weekend, Gab, because Inter got hammered, and
you hate Inter.
you and the rest of your crew on the Serie Awesome podcast just lay into Inter. You hate them, biased.
It's mostly that Paolo Bandini, but look, like we say, when they play well, we praise. When they play badly, we criticize. When the facts change, opinions change, right?
Yeah. Is Paolo Bandini, is he that guy with that ponytail?
I like it.
You like that ponytail?
I like the ponytail.
Where's he trying to go? What direction's Paolo going?
I don't know. I think it works. He's kind of gone through that messy
At what
stage.
point does a ponytail on a gentleman walk?
Messi, as in all over the place.
Yeah, the roughed up look.
Yeah.
I think it works. What do you make of Kun's Silver Fox?
Looks all right.
That looks all right, doesn't it? I like it.
Yeah.
I think it's okay.
Listen to you in your Spanish ways, Coons. In the Spanish they call him Coons.
Aguero.
We call him Aguero.
We call him Aguero. What?
You're trying to bring first name.
What do you think? Honestly, seriously. By the way, and the only reason you're talking about it is because I watched the City Man United game in Spanish, and that's what they kept calling him. They kept calling him Coons. Coons all the time. They never call him Aguero.
Do I ask why you watch it in Spanish? Is that going to open a door that we don't particularly
Yeah, you don't want to open that.
Right, okay. All right.
But you understood it. That's the worrying thing.
Should Thierry Henry be sacked yet, Gab?
Just Sunday against PSG. He inherited a bad situation. This is a talented team, but there's a lot of baggage that came with the job, and I think we need to give our man Thierry a little bit of time to go and sort it out. But yeah, there's no relegation zone in the spring.
Played for Juventus, Arsenal the best, France the best, Barcelona the best, at the best. They went with assistant manager in Belgium at the best. You've got and all of a sudden he thinks, he's up with his phone. I mean, seriously. He's probably asking himself right now, is this thing ridiculous? Because there's no control on the plan. Then, or like, it goes this moment with it again. So,
I'd imagine some of it. Then, the side of it's pretty difficult.
well, we have to deal with that.
It must be rather nice.
If you please indicate when you have no idea what
We don't have to pay tax in Monaco.
Dan, that's not true, Dan.
No, it is true. I know what you're going to say, Gab. It is true, but if you come from certain countries, then you do have to pay it.
Thierry Henry is French. France has a tax treaty with Monaco, so he actually pays full whack.
Wow.
There are some countries that do not, whose citizens enjoy tax-free status in Monaco. France is not one of them. Neither is the United States, where you get taxed on worldwide income. So no, Thierry Henry is not living it up tax-free in Monaco. But still, it's not a bad place to live.
Like Downey's really struggling.
Why don't they Formula One guys go over there?
It's so weird.
It's such.
What's that mean? I have no idea what that is. When he talks about F1, he goes all strange. Couldn't they give me the future Bayern Munich manager? Why, when everyone talks about this, he replacing the manager, they bring up Conte before going?
Okay, so Arsene Wenger is 69 years old. His last 2 years at Arsenal, rightly or wrongly, are generally not perceived to have been successful by many. I think he still has something to give, but I think at a team like Bayern Munich, who I believe did pursue him years ago, where you're moving in and you're working with a really strong club culture where they like things to be done a very, very specific way, and if you differ even a little bit, you got to do things by their rules. It's just not going to be right for a guy like Wenger, who for the last 10 years could do, in fact, probably the last 20 years, could do whatever he wanted to at Arsenal. So, no, I don't think Arsene Wenger would be a good fit for Bayern Munich in the slightest.
Would you like to talk about this, or shall we
move
leave?
On. Go, bye.
Okay.
See you later.
Okay, Steve, you got the day off tomorrow, you learn.
I know, what a result.
That's a nice feeling, isn't it?
Aye.
We'll be here though, won't we, Craig?
Yep.
And such.
Bashing
And
away.
such.
I didn't think that was such a strange comment.
That's quite strange.
It was weird, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was weird.
What? And so, I say.
Nothing tomorrow.
So the tax rate. Juventus responded well after that disappointing against United midweek, obviously, to put in this sort of performance.
Yeah, a game they were in control of, and then obviously there was the Matuidi challenge in the edge of the box and the Szczesny mistake. Obviously for Milan getting off to such a bad start, it was always going to be an uphill battle, but in all fairness to them, whilst they haven't got the quality of Juventus, they hung in there. Yeah. They hung in there until that Ronaldo goal, so they were always in the game. And then, of course, Higuain, who was sent off, but we were saying before he was sent off, never seen him making as many runs, but he was really ramped up.
Yeah, you could see it.
I think it's great we're giving AC Milan credit for hanging in there, but that's really all they did. You know, Juventus, to me, always looked as though they had another gear. They almost let them back in with that penalty.
Yeah.
But Milan didn't take advantage of it. And from there, really, there was only going to be one winner, and there was.
Gab Marcotti, Juventus getting it done.
Yeah, and I think in some ways we're seeing a slightly different Juventus in Serie A. I thought they focused on controlling the tempo. They're less attacking, less dominating, perhaps than we see in the Champions League. Allegri was asked about this and said, teams attack us more in the Champions League, so there's more space in which to play. Milan just not at the races, and they have so many injuries in key positions. You credit Gattuso for trying something different with Castillejo, Suso, and Çalhanoğlu all on at the same time. But the problem is when you're out there and it just doesn't work because there's no playmaker in midfield, all of a sudden, as the boys are saying, all they can really do is hang in there.
Gab, there was so much hype and excitement leading up to this game, and sometimes they can prove to be a bit of an anticlimax. This was anything but.
That's right, Dan. This game was absolutely rocking, beginning to end. I think it's a credit to both teams. River, perhaps the more dynamic of the two sides, given they were away from home, maybe a little bit braver. Boca, perhaps a little bit of an edge, technically, in terms of ability. Both teams hanging in there till the end. And wow, that save in the dying minutes from Armani, really, we could remember that. Eventually, maybe it could be the game changer between these two sides. So roll on 2 weeks' time.
Unbelievable stuff. Barcelona's so weak defensively. Betis could have won this by more.
Yeah, sorry, Dan. I thought you were going to start off by going back a couple weeks and remembering before the Clásico when I suggested that Barcelona had major issues defensively, so maybe Real Madrid could draw this game.
Wait, we've moved on from that, Gab. Don't start. Don't keep digging.
No. Like, 4 goals conceded at home. I think it's the first time in 15 years that it's happened. Some of this is on the players. I think some of this has to be on Valverde. I think it's a different team when Coutinho's not involved. On top of Coutinho, obviously, Dembele's on the naughty step. Yeah. He decides he doesn't want Rafinha on the bench. He starts Malcolm, and then when that doesn't work out, he doesn't have answers. In midfield, he takes off Busquets. Just when it's 2-1, they're about to get back into it. And what happens? Betis go back ahead. It's as if he was totally unprepared for the possibility that Quique Setién, for once, might actually sit and try to hit on the counter rather than rushing everybody forward. And they walked right into that one. And I think if you're Valverde, you got to take a long, hard look at yourself and the way you prepared for this game.
This isn't the first time this season we've seen Barca's defence be so porous. Is it down the fact it's just ageing? Like Gerard Piqué, not as quick as he used to be?
Well, Piqué's the guy who, in my opinion, was in charge of it. You know, he marshalled everybody, got them in good positions. Unfortunately, he's coming to a stage where he has to concentrate on his own game. He's not quite as quick as he was. He's not getting the position quick enough. His partnership with Langley is well, there isn't a partnership.
Yeah.
I mean, when you lose 2 goals right in the middle of your own 6-yard area with nobody within at least 5 yards, then that's a problem positionally. And the back 4 are just not playing as a unit. You know, we saw the goals,
Yeah.
and when you've got your actual back 4 there, but not able to make a challenge, it's all down to positioning. And usually there's one guy who organises. It's usually Piqué, but he's not doing that now.
Go back to the. I was just looking. I was going back to the Sevilla game. It was 3 or 4 weeks ago, I think, where eventually they did win, but you know they were so open in that game, and but for Ter Stegen, it was 4-2 in the end, but it could have been 4 each, could have been 5-4 to Sevilla, and I just think that's going to. You're only going to be able to play like that on the odd occasion. You can't play like that all the time, and they just seem to be more open now than they've ever been. They're still not in a disastrous run. They've still been getting results.
Sure. Well, it's still top of the table.
You know, the top of the table. You know, Messi's been out injured, blah, blah, blah. He coped with that quite well. However, I just, every time I watch them now, I just think teams are getting more and more chances against them. And as I say, Ter Stegen had a bad day today with that one, but he's been having some good days, and that's been papering over some of the cracks.